It's going to be another busy weekend in the city, and Taste of Italy, Little Italy, kicks off tonight. We're live with more on one of summer's biggest events. A stretch of College Street is now closed as well.
And we're also live at Ford Fest in Etobicoke. This is where the PCs are celebrating their third election victory. A number of striking workers and unions are expected to show up to send the government a message.
And a man shot by a police officer in Vaughan on Wednesday has now died. We'll tell you what investigators are saying about the incident.
Also this hour, Israel strikes Iran's nuclear sites and kills its top generals. Iran retaliates with a barrage of missiles. We're going to have the latest on this developing story and the fears of a wider regional conflict in the Middle East.
You're watching Live at 5.
Good evening. I'm Bakari Savage.
And I'm Lena Latafat. Thanks for joining us and welcome to Live at 5. Street festival season continues with the Taste of Little Italy kicking off tonight.
Let's go live to CP24's Beatrice Vaisman, who's along college. Beatrice, have you tasted any food yet?
Not yet. Not yet. I know you would have been on the case already, Bakari. I'm going to get there, though. The setup's just starting, though. I don't want to interrupt these lovely vendors who are just getting ready. You've got everything from fresh fruit, juices, and bubble tea. You've got squid, octopus, lamb, beef, chicken. Of course, you've got all of the cuisine from Little Italy everywhere. Lots of Italian food, obviously, in this area. But also, it's very diverse. It has been changed over the years. We just watched some of these ladies rolling in some dried pasta, which I'm sure they'll be cooking for all the thousands and thousands of people who'll be in attendance here this weekend. The festival, it gets underway really at 6 o'clock, which is why you're seeing the setup now kind of reaching this fever pitch with all the vendors trying to get ready. I talked to the chair of the festival who tells me they are expecting a whole lot of people over the course of 3 days. Listen.
We're expecting easily 750,000 people over the next 3 days, and we just have so much to offer everyone. We also have a small amusement park for children, game playing. We have all sorts of food. We have things that, little knickknacks that you can buy. So it's just going to be a lot of fun for everyone.
Anna and Tanya. I've just met Anna and Tanya, mother-daughter duo here setting up on College Street. You're from Anna and Lucio's Trattoria in Woodbridge. Welcome to downtown Toronto. What's on the menu for this weekend?
Oh, we got veal parm, chicken parm, homemade gnocchi, penne alla vodka, homemade tiramisu. We got a bunch of stuff, sausage, a bunch of things.
Is Mama cooking?
Yeah, all day.
Okay,
all
what's
day.
your specialty, Mama?
Well, we sell, our restaurant is famous for gnocchi because we make our own. Like everything sausage, and we make our own meatballs. We were very well known for the homemade meatballs and many, many things. They have to come and try, Anna Lucio.
A lot of parmigiana on top?
Yes, parmesan, whatever they like. We have mushroom or whatever, hot peppers, the calabrese way.
Oh, you are speaking my love language. Tell me, have you guys been a part of this festival before?
This is our first year.
Yeah.
Wow, so what are the expectations? What made you want to be a part of it for this year?
I just, my dad was really into chin and radio. He passed away. So we were like, let's do this to honor him and let's show our recipes, our food, bring a little part of our culture here.
Mama, how much is the recipes, the food, come from the heart and the soul?
Yes, that's our passion. Like my passion is the homemade. From back home when my mom used to work, and I'm following the tradition now. She's following the tradition. Homemade is very important. It's everything like simple and good.
Tell me, what does it mean to you to share your culture, where you came from, with the people here in the city?
Well, I want this homemade, this to go on, because people tend not to do it anymore. It's everything going. So I wanted to go on, and that's why she's carrying on with homemade stuff. It's very authentic Italian food, calabrese, and
to do this with your family, with your mom, what does that mean to you?
Everything. My kids here. I have my other kids, like they get to see it. They get to see the part of the culture, the cooking, everything, right? Like she grew up cooking with her mom. Now I get to grow up cooking with her. My kids get to cook with me. So it's like a continuous legacy, right?
I'll have to come for a lesson.
Yeah.
What's Dad's name?
My father,
Yeah.
Lucho.
Lucho. This is for Lucho. Thank you, ladies, so
Thank
much
you.
for your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
They're setting up. They're getting the penne ready to serve to people. We've got the corn in a cup next door. This street's just going to be overtaken by food, by fun, by music, by soul coming up in the next couple of hours. Guys, back to you.
You tell us when that penne is ready, Beatrice, and we'll be right over, okay?
I want some notes.
I'm on it.
All right, Beatrice Bateman reporting live from Little Italy, the Taste of Little Italy, which kicks off this weekend. And there are plenty of other events going on in the city this weekend, too.
Yeah, some 8,000 runners are expected on the Lakeshore tomorrow for the Under Armour Toronto 10K. So there will be significant closures on Lakeshore Boulevard around Exhibition Place to facilitate the race.
And a run for a good cause on Sunday for the annual Princess Margaret Journey to Conquer Cancer. Beginning at Varsity Stadium, there will be 1, 2, and 5 kilometer runs to raise money for cancer research.
And if you're looking for something to do on Father's Day, the annual Yorkville Exotic Car Show might be the place for you. There's going to be a lineup of some of the nicest cars you can find. Blower proceeds for the event, they're going to go towards melanoma research.
Well, multiple unions are crashing Ford Fest in Etobicoke as Premier Doug Ford celebrates his third election victory with supporters.
And CP24 Sija Liu joins us from Centennial Park with more. Sija.
Hi, Bakari and Lena. Ford Fest is happening this hour, but dozens of striking workers with WSIB are here to take their fight for a new contract right to Premier Doug Ford. So we'll flip the camera around over here. Ford Fest is happening, but workers with WSIB are here trying to get a new contract in the midst of negotiations. And joining me right now, we have Harry Goslin. He is the president of the Ontario Compensation Employees Union. And Harry, the workers are here at Ford Fest. I guess, what is the goal today? You know, the Premier will be here shortly.
We want to draw attention to a strike that's been going on, or should I say a lockout. Ford government is really backing a lockout of the WSIB on the first day of May 20th. We were doing some work to rule, and the CEO acted poorly and sent people home at noon and then locked them out of our system. So we've been shut out ever since. We had hoped to do a rotating strike to be able to take care of some of those injured worker claims. But now we've been out for 3 weeks, going into our 4th week, starting today, and the Ford government is directly involved. We need them to be getting WSIB back to the table. They have been involved in the bargaining mandate of the WSIB, shockingly. Even though we're not funded by taxpayers, we're funded by employer assessments. So our deal has nothing to do with the tax base or the budget of Ontario. So we want to get attention to ending this strike. We think there's a path forward, but we have an employer that's doing surface bargaining. We've had to take them to the Labor Board for an unfair labor practice complaint. That's still ongoing. So we need somebody to step up and think about these injured workers in Ontario. We think the WSIB, the leadership, should be acting as the caretakers of the injured workers in Ontario, but they've abdicated that by surface bargaining and not taking these issues seriously. So we are, the injured workers are certainly at the forefront for all the workers that are out here on strike. And we think Doug Ford, who says he's for the little guy, should be standing up for the injured workers in Ontario and helping us get back to work.
And some of the main sticking points with these negotiations has been outsourcing workers to the U.S. as well as workload, toxic workplace. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, we have been fighting a work overload problem for years, and it's gotten to a boiling point. We had asked the WSIB leadership to partner with us to study the problem. We actually had a lead scientist in the area that was willing to work with us, and WSIB refused. They even at the time refused that there was a workload problem. So we went out and we did an independent study called the Copenhagen Psychosocial Survey, which is created by scientists and peer-reviewed by scientists around the world, and it showed irrefutably that we have a workload problem and that we have a toxic workplace, and that the WSIB is has the worst results in a decade of doing this survey across Canada. We have anxiety and depression levels that are so high. When we did the survey last year, we were nearly double the national average. We updated a year later, and the anxiety and depression levels are over double the national average, which means, and this comes from the lead researchers that told WSIB, we have people at risk of losing their lives to suicide. And what did WSIB do about that? Absolutely nothing. They stuck their head in the sand and they did nothing. So we're taking a stand. Enough is enough. This can't continue. We have to have systemic change in the organization.
Thanks so much, Harry. We appreciate your time today. And like you said, these workers are taking a stand, and they're doing so today by coming to Ford Fest. That's where Premier Doug Ford is holding his annual barbecue, already underway until 9 o'clock today. Back to you.
Okay, reporting live from Centennial Park, CP24, Sija Lou. Sija, thanks a lot. It's now 5:10, 19 degrees. Let's get a check on the road with CP24 traffic specialist, Adjoa Nsia-Yabwa. Adj.
Yeah, Bakari, I wish I had some better news. I wish I had some open pockets of traffic for commuters. That's not the case. It's very slow all across the GTA, and then add to problems happening on the northbound 400 if you're traveling into Vaughan. The problems might have just cleared. We had issues long-standing, unless they're just looking for something else, but it is really jammed. At last check, we did have a stall northbound 400 in the Express. It was happening just north of Highway 7, and it might have cleared. Not too sure. They just moved the camera. They haven't sent out a clearing notice as of yet, but I do see big backups from the 401. Now, once you're on the 401, we are getting a lull in problems, but not a lull in traffic. It's very busy across the top of the city. A little bit of an opening break through the Don Valley Parkway. And if you're headed towards the northbound lanes of the 427, it's still very busy as you make your way off the Gardner and you continue up to the 401. That's where you start to see a little bit of reprieve. No reprieve into Barrie, though. Northbound on the 400 on the exit ramp that takes you to Mapleview. Crews remain on scene of a collision on that ramp. Does have the right lane occupied.
This CP24 traffic report is brought to you by 407 ETR. Enjoy the journey with a stress-free commute.
Ground has been broken today on a new North York Community Center, already getting a lot of buzz.
Okay, shovels went into the ground. This is for the Western North York Community Recreation Center, just off Weston, south of Finch. The 80,000 square foot facility is going to house a pool, gymnasium, art studio, and other community spaces. It'll also have 62 nonprofit childcare spaces. And Mayor Chow says the new center is being built with the environment in mind.
This one is a net zero facility. Net zero energy facility. What does that mean? It means that use the most efficient way to build, and I believe it will probably have solar and all of those important things, maybe even geothermal, heat pumps and all that stuff. It's among the first of its kind in Toronto. It's good for the environment, good for the construction industry, good for the local residents and boys and girls and people of all age.
The center plans to open its doors in late 2028.
Okay, another sign that summer's nearly here. Some outdoor city pools are going to be open up this weekend.
Yeah, 15 public pools will open for the season tomorrow. They include Sunnyside Gus Ryder Pool, Alex Duff Memorial Pool, at Christie Pitts, and Donald D. Somerville Pool. A full list can be found on the City of Toronto's website. All of the city's outdoor pools, by the way, they're going to be running on a full schedule as of June 27th.
It's 5:13, 19 degrees. This is Live at 5.
Coming up, 2 teens have been charged in Richmond Hill in a jewelry store robbery, and police believe the same suspects are responsible for 2 home invasions. We'll be right back with more.
A man shot by police in Vaughan on Wednesday has died.
Yeah, the Special Investigations Unit says the 34-year-old man died in hospital after being shot by an officer at a condo on Buchanan Drive near Highway 7 and Warden. Police responded to the condo for reports of a disturbance inside a unit. The SIU says officers entered, and a short time later, one officer shot their gun, striking the man. York police have said the man was actively attacking a woman at the time of the shooting. The SIU says she was stabbed and remains in hospital in stable condition.
Okay, so 2 teenagers have been charged in connection with the jewelry store robbery in Richmond Hill. And police say that the same suspects are believed to be responsible for a pair of home invasions.
Yeah, let's get the latest on this investigation from our crime analyst, Steve Ryan, who joins us with a closer look. Steve, what is this about? What's going on?
Well, very serious allegations. York Regional Police say on June the 9th, 4 suspects entered a jewelry store. They were disguised. They sprayed some sort of aerosol on the employees, and then they took a bunch of jewelry and they left. Police have identified 2 of those 4, a 19-year-old and a 16-year-old, charged them with a variety of offenses, including robbery, disguised with intent, theft of a motor vehicle, possession of property obtained by crime over $5,000. And the 16-year-old was out on a bail release. The 19-year-old was on a probation order. So those have been breached. 2 unknown suspects still police are looking for, and they believe that the same 4 are responsible for a home invasion in Markham on June the 7th and a home invasion in Hamilton on June the 9th.
Okay, so Steve, this video that we're looking at right here, one, I want you to walk us through what we're looking at, and also, why did they release this? I mean, they already have the suspect, so what's the point?
Well, they're looking for 2 more suspects. So this is the arrest of 2 of the 4. And this was part of a very extensive police investigation, a lot of intelligence that has been gathered, and through investigative techniques, they were able to track down where at least 2 of these 4 suspects were. And this is just before the arrest of the 2 of 4.
And Steve, when you say that the 16-year-old out on bail, the 19-year-old on probation, what do you make of those details?
Recidivism, again, and we heard from Chief McSween from York Regional Police as early as today talking about how his officers and his communities are being put in harm's way because a lot of the people that they are arresting are out on previous releases. So again, it just goes to what's not happening in our bail courts, and that is some of these people need to be kept in custody to stop this recidivism from happening.
We have heard a lot about smash and grabs.
Lots, because they're easy when it comes to, if you've got the parts to go in, smash a jewelry store counter, take the jewelry and leave, and when the reward outweighs the risk, we're going to continue to see this. So if these guys are in their head doing the math, if I can get X amount of dollars for this, the odds of getting caught are slim to none when it comes to being held accountable. So until the reward gets flipped and it becomes risk outweighs the reward, we're going to continue to see this.
All right, Steve Ryan, live in studio. Steve, thanks so much for this. Appreciate it.
It's 5:18, 19 degrees. This is Live at 5.
Well, Iran has retaliated against Israel today. We're going to have the latest on the escalating tensions in the Middle East coming up.
We continue to follow developing news from the Middle East. This is where Iran has launched a barrage of missiles at Israel. This is in response to strikes targeting its nuclear sites.
Air raid sirens have sounded across Israel following an Iranian missile attack on the country. We're looking at live images from the ground in Tel Aviv. The rumble of explosions could be heard throughout Jerusalem. The army now ordering residents across the country to move into bomb shelters.
Well, CP24's Lindsay Biscaya joins us live from the newsroom with the latest. Lindsay.
And everyone's being instructed to move into bomb shelters, Lena and Bakari, because there is a potential for a third wave of retaliatory strikes from Iran onto Israel. And some really powerful words coming from Iran today saying that Israel has started a war and will pay a high price for killing its commanders and scientists, as well as dozens of others last night. So, as I mentioned, we're continuing to watch these escalating attacks between the 2 countries. We're watching for that potential third wave today. Already a number of buildings in Israel have been struck, and we're seeing reports now that about 40 people have been injured in Israel. But Israel has also apparently been deflecting a lot of the missiles that were coming toward Tel Aviv and the Jerusalem area. So this is pretty unprecedented what we're seeing right now, these real escalation of attacks between the 2 nations. And we've been speaking with analysts who are watching this closely, saying that this is going to develop further, including retired Major General David Fraser, who says that we can expect things to escalate further in the coming days before anything might get just a little bit better. Here's more on what he had to say.
So the de-escalation started with the UN that said that Iran was not abiding by the proliferation of nuclear weapons, and so they were warned about that and actually sanctioned against that. That was the trigger that probably took Israel over the bridge, and they said that they would not allow Iran to have the weapons grade nuclear material that could handle 8 to 10 weapons. And so they attacked, and including killing those scientists and the Iranian leaders.
And we're continuing to also track kind of reaction around the globe to this news, Lena and Bakari. We know that the Trump administration keeps trying to kind of distance itself from these attacks, saying that Washington was not involved. Obviously, there is the potential for U.S. bases in the Middle East to be targeted by attacks moving forward. And it seems as though the White House wants to avoid that. However, we have seen Donald Trump basically praising this, saying that the strikes by Israel were excellent. So it's going to be interesting, especially this week at the G7 summit happening in Alberta, or next week, I should say, starting on Monday. It's really going to be interesting to see how world leaders look at what's happening here between Iran and Israel and whether the conversation at that summit changes. But in the meantime, we're continuing to watch Israel tonight to see if there are any more retaliatory attacks on that nation. Back to you.
And Canada's position, of course, calling for de-escalation, though that does not appear to be happening. It's quite the opposite. Lindsay Biscaya live in our newsroom tonight with the very latest on this growing war in the Middle East. Thanks, Lindsay. It's 5:23, 19 degrees. You're watching Live at 5.
Well, coming up, the reigning Grey Cup champions are getting ready for their home opener tomorrow.
The Toronto Argonauts are being celebrated ahead of tomorrow's home opener.
Mayor Chow was joined by Argos GM Michael Pinball Clemens to raise the Argos flag at City Hall. The reigning Grey Cup champs, they're hosting the Calgary Stampeders tomorrow afternoon. To mark the occasion, the Toronto sign at Nathan Phillips Square. It's going to be lit in double blue.
Toronto has a proud sports tradition, and the Argos are at the heart of it. This team is part of the fabric of our city. They are champions. I should break out in songs that you're champions, yeah? They are community leaders, and they have been making Torontonians cheering them since 1873.
I want you to come out and catch a game. If you can't come tomorrow, catch a game sometime this year. So please come out and support this team as they vie to, we want to try to see if we can do this again.
Well, the Argos opened their title defense last Friday against the Alouettes in Montreal. They lost that one, 28-10. And tomorrow's home opener against the Stampeders gets underway at 4 p.m.
Well, longtime Leafs announcer Joe Bowen says he'll retire after the next NHL season.
Back to Matthews! He scores! Austin Matthews! 4 goals! Do you believe this? Holy mackerel!
Bowen will leave big shoes to fill after calling Leafs games for more than 4 decades. He says he feels totally blessed to have been able to do his dream job for so long. He thanked Leafs Nation, whom he calls the most loyal and demonstrative fans. And Bowen also says that he hopes the Leafs will finally hoist the Stanley Cup once again before he officially retires.
That's the hope. 5:28, 19 degrees. This is Live at 5.
And we're live at Ford Fest in Etobicoke, which is getting underway this hour. Some striking union members, they're crashing the party. Okay, it's going to be another busy weekend in the city. The Taste of Little Italy, look at it. It's kicking off tonight. We're live with more on one of the summer's biggest events. And as you can see, a stretch of college is now closed.
We are also live at Ford Fest in Etobicoke, where the PCs are celebrating their third election victory with a number of supporters, a number of striking workers and unions. They're also expected to show up to send the government a message.
And a man shot by a police officer in Vaughan Wednesday has died. We're going to tell you what investigators are saying about the incident.
Plus, Israel strikes Iran's nuclear sites and kills its top generals, and Iran retaliates with a barrage of missiles. We have the latest on this developing story and the fears of a wider regional conflict in the Middle East.
This is Live at 5.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Lena Latafat.
I'm Bakari Savage. Multiple unions, they're crashing Ford Fest in Etobicoke as Premier Ford celebrates his third election win.
CP24's Sija Liu joins us from Centennial Park with more on this. Sija.
Hi, Lena and Bakari. Not everyone is here for the free hot dogs today at Ford Fest. We're also seeing dozens of WSIB workers who have taken their fight for a new contract here. It's hard to see them right now. They're behind this crowd of people wearing orange jackets, but they're here to bring their fight for a new contract. They said they've been striking now for about 3 weeks. Some of the top issues when it comes to their negotiations, including outsourcing workers to the U.S., workload, and wages. We spoke to the union president, who says Premier Doug Ford has always said he is someone who fights for the little guy, and that he would like Premier Doug Ford to stand up at this moment for these workers who would like to see better working conditions, and he would like Premier Doug Ford to put his elbows up and not outsource to U.S. companies, amongst other things. Here's more from the president of the Ontario Compensation Employees Union, Harry Gosson, on that.
We had hoped to do a rotating strike to be able to take care of some of those injured worker claims. But now we've been out for 3 weeks, going into our 4th week, starting today, and the Ford government is directly involved. We need them to be getting WSIB back to the table. They have been involved in the bargaining mandate of the WSIB, shockingly. Even though we're not funded by taxpayers, we're funded by employer assessments. So our deal has nothing to do with the tax base or the budget of Ontario.
But besides those workers, there are hundreds of people here at Centennial Park right now for the free food, but also to join Ford in celebrating their third majority government win, including Maxie, who is here with us all decked out in his PC gear. Maxie, what brings you out today?
Well, I came all the time to support the Ford because they are a person who help everyone, and as an average man that you can talk to, like a man on the street, everyday person, down to earth. So I'm always a supporter of the Ford family.
And if you get a chance to speak with him today, what would you say?
Oh, just continue to do the good work that he's doing. And I know most Ontarians happily support him for that.
Well, thanks so much, Maxie.
You're
Enjoy your food today. Lots of people feeling just like how he does today at Ford Fest. It's happening at Centennial Park. There is free hot dog, free food, free ice cream, and free parking happening until 9 o'clock tonight. But again, Lena Bakari, not everyone here is happy. We also have those dozens of WSIB workers just at the front steps there, hoping to bring their fight for a new contract to Premier Doug Ford, who is expected to be here any moment now.
All right, Sija Liu reporting live from Ford Fest this hour. Thank you, Sija. Lots of free food at the Taste of Little Italy as well, which kicks off tonight. This is one of my personal favorites.
Okay, let's go live to CP24's Beatrice Vaisman on College Street this evening. Beatrice, I need you to break out the notepad because we have some orders. I want some of that gnocchi. I want some of the vodka penne pasta, some of the chicken parm. Lena?
What else?
I
thought you had a gluten allergy. You can't have gluten.
That's out the window, man.
That doesn't
You're
count
late.
on
You're
a night
late.
like this. I was going to say, can I get some gelato, but I don't think that's going to work. AB?
I think I've got something for you, Lee. Watch this. We've just seen this stand kind of pop up, and there's already a bit of a line here. What about, it looks like kind of these ice cream in these waffle cones. Will that do for you? Look, it's even got something savory for Bakari. It looks like pasta or macaroni inside this waffle cone as well. Something for everyone. If you like savory, if you like sweet, you like Italian, you like Mexican, South American, whatever you like, Asian inspired. There is something for everyone here at the Taste of Little Italy. This is one of the biggest festivals of the entire summer. You can see I'm walking on the road. The roads are now closed. It's pedestrian only, and you can see a lot of the vendors also setting up to spend a wonderful and busy, hopefully, 3 days here. Also new this year is the main stage where performers will be happening, and perhaps something that you want to partake in, Bakari, if you're feeling really daring with that gluten allergy, a pasta eating contest. Listen to what the chair told me.
We're going to have a beer garden. It's just going to be wonderful. We have music from all over. We have a pasta contest, eating contest. We have Calissima from Italy. It's just going to be a very exciting event. And it's just going to give us so much more space for people to come and enjoy.
I've also just met Akshat. He's the owner of Fat Lulu's Pasta. First time participating in this festival. Tell me why you wanted to be a part of it.
So back home I'm from India, and I have been trained in Italian cuisine for a long time. And now that I opened up my business, my first business, and I wanted to showcase the public what I'm selling, though I'm not from the background, still I can do as good as them. And professionally, I'm a chef come owner, so it's a chef come owner business. Yeah. And I just want to promote my product, showcase like how good I can do Italian food. And there's a hint of Indian touch over there because I'm an Indian by heart. That's why.
An Indian chef making delicious Italian food. Tell me about the inspiration. We're showing our viewers some of your creations. What are you going to be serving to people here this weekend?
So I'll be serving a chicken parm sandwich, meatball sandwich, and Italian beef burger over there. And then we have multiple pastas that we'd be serving. All of them are customizable. we are not putting chef and dishes where cooked food is there. We have a kitchen upstairs where everything will come fresh, everything will be made fresh, and it's going to be delicious.
Tell me about how you merge your Indian culture and Indian background with some of this Italian cuisine.
So I've worked at Skybush, which is a very famous restaurant, and I have an Indian chef as well. So there are a hint of spices in the red Neapolitan sauce and the arrabbiata sauce, and even with the Alfredo sauce, I have induced some Indian spices that gives them that touch, that hint of spice, and that kick that people would love.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. The chair of the festival, Bakari and Lena, is telling me that they're expecting about 750,000 people over the course of 3 days. That's about how much they had last year. It's already getting busy, and really the festival is only just beginning. It was really set to get underway at 6 o'clock, but already people here looking for the pizza and the pasta and a lot of vintage clothes here as well on display in Little Italy. Back to you guys.
Oh my God, that looks so good. All of it. We'll have all of it, Beatrice. Thanks so much. Well, there are plenty of other events going on in Toronto this weekend.
Some 8,000 runners are expected on the Lakeshore tomorrow for the Under Armour Toronto 10K. There's going to be significant closures on Lakeshore Boulevard around Exhibition Place to facilitate the race. And a run for a good cause on Sunday for the annual Princess Margaret Journey to Conquer Cancer. Beginning at Varsity Stadium, there's going to be 1, 2, and 5K runs to raise money for cancer research.
And if you're looking for something to do on Father's Day, the annual Yorkville Exotic Car Show might be the place for you. There will be a lineup of some of the nicest cars you can find on Bloor. Proceeds of that event will go towards melanoma research. Time now is 5:38, 19 degrees. Is it a brutal drive? Let's find out with our traffic specialist, Adjoa and Siayabwa.
Yeah, you know what, Lena? It is a little bit of a brutal drive. It's busy. You named the route. It's just jam solid. A driver's either trying to head home or maybe head down to the Taste of Little Italy. It's going to take them a while. If you're heading into Brampton away from Little Italy, you'll find it very, very slow going into Brampton. Delays start from Steeles and they continue up towards about Beauvert. Getting word of a collision blocking a live lane. It's outside of my camera view, but that's probably what's adding to your slow commute. Traveling towards the 401, it remains a very busy go across the top of the city still, and still looking at delays further east as you're heading towards Durham. And maybe you're trying to get home to Vaughan or to your cottage on the northbound 400. It's going to take you a while, maybe double your time or bail and use Jane or Weston because it is not moving from Highway 7 all the way up towards about Highway 9. Headed out towards Durham, we still are dealing with the closure of Lake Ridge shutdown between Roslyn and Taunton. That is for a serious collision which happened earlier this afternoon. Lena Bakari, back to you.
All right, Aj, thanks so much. 5:39, 19 degrees. This is Live at 5.
And coming up, 2 teenagers have been charged in a Richmond Hill jewelry store robbery. Police believe that the same suspects are responsible for 2 home invasions. A man shot by police in Markham Wednesday has died.
The Special Investigations Unit says the 34-year-old man died in hospital after being shot by an officer at a condo on Buchanan Drive near Highway 7 and Warden. Police responded to the condo for reports of a disturbance inside a unit. The SIU says officers entered, and a short time later, one officer shot their gun, striking the man. York police have said the man was actively attacking a woman at the time of the shooting. The SIU says she was stabbed and remains in hospital in stable condition.
And one person's been killed in a 2-vehicle collision in Dutton.
OPP say just before 9 o'clock this morning, a dump truck and a car collided at Highway 48 and High Street. The driver of the car, identified as a 31-year-old man from Georgina, was pronounced dead at the scene. No other injuries were reported. The cause of the collision is under investigation, and it's unclear whether charges will be laid. Highway 48 remains closed between Park Road and Ravenshoe Road. Witnesses are asked to call the OPP.
And police are asking for help to find a man wanted in a harassment investigation.
50-year-old Oral Cohen is wanted on several charges, including harassment and uttering threats. He is accused of harassing a victim repeatedly at a home at Coxwell and Hanson, south of Danforth, at around 9 o'clock last night. He's described as 5'8" to 5'10", with an average build.
Okay, 2 teenagers have been charged in connection with the jewelry store robbery in Richmond Hill. Police say that the same suspects are believed to be responsible for a pair of home invasions. Well, CP24's crime analyst Steve Ryan joins us live with a closer look. Okay, Steve, before we get into the suspects, let's take a look at this new video that's been released because they're still looking for 2 more suspects.
They are. So there's 4 in total. As you said, a 19-year-old and a 16-year-old have been arrested and charged with a variety of offenses, including robbery, possession of stolen property. The 19-year-old was also charged with breaching his probation. The 16-year-old is charged with breaching bail. And there are 2 outstanding suspects. So we're showing the arrest right now that took place on June the 12th. Some great work by York Regional Police, again, doing a lot of intel gathering, intelligence sharing, and being able to track down 2 of the 4 suspects. The police also allege that these 4 suspects are responsible for 2 home invasions, one in Markham on June the 7th, one in Hamilton on June the 9th, and they believe that there could be others as well. So they are actively looking for the other 2 suspects that are still outstanding.
Based on all the progress police have made in this investigation and linking these 2 cases, how long before they track down these 2 suspects, Steve?
Hard to tell, but in cases like this, when you've got the violent crimes that are committed, the police are pretty good on getting some intel with regards to who these suspects may be. And the fact that they've got 2 in custody right now, they could use investigative techniques and investigative sources to connect other people to those 2 individuals that they've identified already. So it shouldn't be long before they get the other 2.
Okay, and see, looking at this video, it looks like these undercover officers, they're right there when this happened. What type of message does this send to people who are planning to do the same thing?
Well, you might want to sleep with one eye open or keep looking over your shoulder, because when you are planning to do a robbery of any sort or any violent crime, you don't know the intelligence that the police have gathered, and they may be right behind you watching every move you're making and could intercept you just before you do this crime.
And Steve, why do you think we're seeing more jewelry store robberies in the region as of late?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I think it's easy money. You can steal that jewelry, it can be melted down and not traced, or you can just sell it on the street. So it's instant cash, it's instant gratification when it comes to finances. Again, the reward outweighs the risk of being caught. It needs to be flipped. The risk of being caught needs to outweigh the reward, and then we'll see some, I would say, minimizing this sort of crime. But until such time, we're going to continue seeing this.
All right, CP24's crime analyst Steve Ron joining us live in studio. Thanks, Steve.
You got it.
It's 5:46, 19 degrees. This is Live at 5.
The lone survivor of the Air India crash spoke from the hospital today. We're going to hear more about his miraculous story next. Stay with us.
We continue to follow developing news from the Middle East. This is where Iran has launched a barrage of missiles at Israel in response to strikes targeting its nuclear sites.
Air raid sirens have sounded across Israel following an Iranian missile attack on that country. We're giving you a live shot of the city of Tel Aviv. The rumble of explosions could be heard throughout Jerusalem just hours ago. And the army has now ordered residents across that country to move into bomb shelters. CP24's Lindsay Biscaya joins us with the latest on this situation. And this is considered a major escalation, Lindsay.
This is a major escalation, Lena and Bakari. I mean, we haven't seen anything like this in quite some time. Iran hasn't seen anything like this in decades. And Iran really using some powerful words today to describe what happened last night when Israel started sending fighter jets and missiles over to Iran, destroying some military and nuclear facilities in that region. Iran saying Israel has started a war and will pay a high price for killing its commanders and nuclear scientists, as well as dozens of others. There are reports that about 78 people were killed in last night's strikes. And we continue to see these attacks today. The retaliation from Iran on Israel. We've seen 2 waves of missiles hitting Israel in the Jerusalem and Tel Aviv area today, and a third potential wave could be coming. So as you both mentioned, Israel has instructed its citizens to go into bomb shelters and says it is ready to intercept more of these missiles if they do, in fact, start firing into Israel once again. So this is quite the escalation. The word war is being used now, which I think, a lot of people are taking note of. And we've got a lot of analysts who are looking into this, saying that this could just be the start of something even bigger. We were speaking with retired Major General David Fraser, who says things could, of course, still escalate further in the next couple of days. Take a listen.
Unfortunately, we're going to see a lot more missiles and attacks on both sides going back and forth. We're going to probably see the start of proxies going and attacking Israel to try to change their attention away from attacking into Iran. We might see some more cyber attacks. We're going to see Iran probably trying to redeploy missiles to try to get closer to attack Israel. And we're going to probably see Israel re-attack those positions to try to prevent Iran from stopping the fires or trying to get them to start up again.
Israel saying that these attacks last night were necessary to prevent Iran from building nuclear bombs. It's not clear whether that was actually the case, but we know now world leaders from around the world, obviously, are reacting to this, many calling for peace, Canada being one of those countries that's calling for peace. But it's been interesting to watch what is happening in the U.S. coming out of the White House. White House officials saying that Washington was not involved in these initial strikes by Israel on Iran. However, we saw President Donald Trump saying that those strikes were excellent. Of course, I'm sure U.S. officials keeping in mind, Lena and Bakari, that there are a lot of U.S. bases in the Middle East that could be targeted. And so the White House officials trying to stay out of this, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the next couple of days. And we know Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said more is on the way when it comes to attacks. So we'll be watching this throughout the night and, of course, throughout the weekend as well. Back to you.
Situation so precarious. Lindsay Biscay live in the newsroom. Thanks, Lindsay. Well, that investigation into the deadly Air India plane crash is in its early stages as the lone survivor of the crash speaks with the media for the very first time. Take a look.
I can't explain. Everything happened in my eye. I can't. Emergency door is broken. Yeah. My seat is broken. Yeah. Then I see the page little bit. Yeah. Then I will try to come out. Okay. Yeah, that's why.
So, did the aircraft catch fire before you came out?
Yes.
Okay.
A little bit fire. Yeah. After me, I'm out. Then blast.
His story is an unbelievable one. A British citizen, Vishwash Kumar Ramesh, recounting what happened when Flight 171 went down shortly after taking off from an airport in Ahmedabad, saying he cannot believe he is alive. He was visited by Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi while in hospital, being treated for burns and other injuries. Just remarkable.
Well, the flight data recorder has been recovered from a rooftop near the crash site. That'll help investigators determine why the plane could not gain altitude. 241 people aboard the London-bound plane died, including a Canadian woman. At least 5 medical students were also killed when the Boeing 787 Dreamliner crashed into a college hostel. And an aviation expert and former fighter pilot says that we'll know a lot more about what happened in the coming weeks as investigators piece things together.
We must wait about 30 days-ish, and they're going to release a first report that should be able to give us most of the information we're looking for right now, because we have seen footage of the crash, yet there are some uncertainties and answers that can only be given by the investigation team, especially around the engines, around the landing gear. So right now, even though we have the images, it's extremely difficult to understand what truly happened in the cockpit. The only thing we can tell for sure is that we can see on the footage is that at the end of the flight, the pilot tried to pull up. He grabbed the yacht, he pulled back to try to minimize the vertical speed.
And the Canadian woman on board Air India Flight 171 has been identified by her family as Nirali Suresh Kumar Patel of Etobicoke. She was a dentist who had a practice in Mississauga.
And Patel's local MPP, Kinga Surma, released a statement that reads in part, quote, "This devastating loss has deeply affected our community. We join in mourning with her loved ones. Our thoughts and prayers are with her family and friends during this profoundly difficult time."
Well, last-minute preparations are underway as Canada gets set to host the G7 summit in Alberta.
Yeah, picturesque Kananaskis, Alberta, is the venue for the world's leaders that's going to be meeting starting Sunday, running through Tuesday. Prime Minister Mark Carney says that he wants to focus on things like public safety, securing critical mineral supply chains, and building infrastructure. Carney will meet with Britain's Keir Starmer in Ottawa ahead of the summit.
Time now is 5:55, sitting at 19 degrees. You're watching Live at 5.
And coming up, tens of thousands of motorcycle enthusiasts have descended on Port Dover for Friday the 13th.
Welcome back. It's Friday the 13th, which means tens of thousands of motorcycle enthusiasts have descended on Port Dover.
Large crowds are packing the streets once again today for the traditional gathering. This has been happening since the early 80s. The Port Dover population is just under 8,000, but it swells to about 100,000 every Friday to the 13th.
And another sign that summer is nearly here, some outdoor city pools are opening up this weekend.
15 public pools are going to open for the season tomorrow. They include Sunnyside Gus Ryder Pool, Alex Duff Memorial Pool at Chrissy Pitt, and Donald D. Somerville pools. All the city's outdoor pools are going to be open on a full schedule as of June 27th.
It is 5:59, 19 degrees. This is Toronto's breaking news. CP24 will leave you tonight with a live look of Ford Fest in Etobicoke. Tons of supporters there. Some people who have concerns, some union members as well.
Thank you for watching. CTV News at 6 is next.